Good morning, everyone. So, you've probably heard of Stormgate by now in some capacity, and it's certainly taken the internet by, well, storm, pun intended. So, what is it? What does it look like? And what can we expect? Well, let's dive in. So, Stormgate is a new RTS that's developed by a bunch of Blizzard Entertainment OG devs, as well as some of the team who took on Command and Conquer and Red Alert 2 to join the team in a brand new RTS franchise. Now, it's been in development for some time, and a lot of people aren't been following the project. However, with its announcement at the Video Game Awards, it's gotten a lot of traction around the internet. And it's really showing a lot of promise to breathe some fresh air into an RTS genre that we haven't really seen in the past 10 years or so. Really, the RTS genre has been carried by StarCraft 2, and that's really it as far as competitive gameplay goes and esports. Now, I don't want to set expectations too high. It is a brand new game from a brand new studio that has not released anything else prior to it. They're also not making money yet. They launched a Kickstarter this week and it's blown up. So let's go take a look at the Kickstarter website to see what you can get.
Through Kickstarter, we can expand the beta pool and allow more players to get into the game while supporting Stormgate. One of the great things about Kickstarter is it allows us to deliver a Stormgate Physical Collector's Edition.
Vulcan online.
The Vulcan mech is one of the defining units of the Vanguard army, and we decided to make the Vulcan mech the centerpiece of our Collector's Edition. Here you see a fully painted prototype of our 6.5-inch Vulcan statue.
So here we are on their Kickstarter page. As you can see, you can get the Vulcan mech if you kickstart, along with some open beta keys as well. So here's what you get. Here's the story mode. Stormgate is a hyper-responsive real-time strategy game that will feature ongoing campaign, 3-player co-op, 1v1, 3v3, and a powerful editor and more. So we're going to do a little bit of a dive into all of this to see what's exciting about it. Now, it is worth noting that their Kickstarter got a huge following even before the Video Game Awards. I think in their first 40 minutes, they had already doubled their Kickstarter goal of $100,000. Now they're at over $1,250,000 pledged to this Kickstarter. This shows a ton of promise, and hopefully it will be a good game and a good boost for the team to get some content out before the actual launch date goes live. And on the topic of money real quick, the devs have confirmed that this game will be free to play at launch, which I know scares a lot of people. That means it's probably a pay to win model. However, in an RTS game, you can't really have pay to win, so a lot of their revenue is going to come from selling cosmetics and storylines. So they're going to mimic StarCraft 2's revenue stream, where the base game is free and you can pay for additional missions, possibly even the campaign. I hope that's not the case. I really would like to play the campaign at launch without paying a dime, but we'll see if that holds up. But the game will be free to play at launch, which is pretty rad of them. Now, first I wanted to talk about how this is different from any other RTS out there. It does have 3 factions, which some RTS have 2, some RTS have 8. I think 3 is a good starting place to be at. In the campaign, we'll see them take on the human Vanguard of Earth's Elite, which is just your human faction. You get robot dogs, robots, Vanguard walkers, etc. The second faction will be the Infernal Host, which are demonic aliens. That is being compared to kind of Zerg and StarCraft a little bit, and just you're basically your evil factions. You have good, evil. You'll probably have the neutral faction. I'm gonna guess this faction deals a little bit more with magic. So you have human robots, you have infernal demons, you have more of a neutral magic gathering type faction that will play a role in both campaigns.
At Early Access, we will have 3 distinct asymmetric factions, each with their own unique gameplay, their own unique identity, and core mechanics that are unique to them.
Now, a big thing that they're advertising on their Kickstarter, which I think is going to be the most game-changing part about this RTS in 2024, is Snowplay. So obviously a play on Frost Giant. It's their new back-end system for how online gaming works. The biggest thing up front is we're going to look at this rollback play. So basically this will prevent you from lagging out and disconnecting during online play. So if you hit a lag spike or your ping just goes a little bit too high, Snowplay is capable of rendering more than 1,000 units in a game without sacrificing a smooth and responsive gameplay. It also allows the quality of online play to be increased. So you can see right here, that even if you do lag out, the units will continue to go to their position as long as rollback is on, which is pretty freaking neat. It should prevent a lot of hiccups that the esports genre has at the moment with RTS games. It was a huge issue with Warcraft 3 that they never really figured out. With sudden disconnects, you can come right back into the game and your units will be doing the same control, same combat, same movement that they had before. I think this is the coolest part of this, and I really have high hopes for what this means for online competitive play. So let's go down and look at cooperative modes. So there are different game modes for cooperative. It looks like Wreck Havoc is the first one. It's basically a convoy, maybe even like a TD defender type dealio, but it looks like they kind of mimics what Warcraft 3 had going, where you're transporting a unit or a convoy throughout the map, and your basically goal is to defend it or take it over. Overwatch also has a similar system to this, but it's a lot more fun RTS in my opinion. They will also have co-op, so you can have up to 3 co-op and heroes with one game, which is pretty cool. So you can play with your friends, you can play side by side with your roommate, your loved one, yourself if you want to do single player. There's also a blockade system with that game mode. And then we get down to competitive. So competitive, it's going to be a huge sports team genre. So with that being said, competitive also allows up to 32 players, they said. I believe that's with their new snowplay technology. So that could mean 32 observers, 32 players possibly. It can hold thousands of units rendering on the screen. It's using Unreal 5, which is just insane for quality of graphics and quality of life as far as rendering stuff goes. And I really have high hopes to see how many units we can actually control during these mass exoduses and battles. So the last thing I want to go over on the Kickstarter, and objectively is the coolest thing, is their custom game feature. So custom games will be a thing in Stormgate, just like Warcraft 3, just like StarCraft, just like Age of Empires, but this is a fully fledged map editor that talks to the game client, which means you can basically test the game real time as you build your maps out. This is so fun. They did not need to include this. I'm really hopeful that this pans out to be something really cool where we can see new games come up, new game modes come up, maybe even new IPs come up, you know? Hopefully they don't have any licensing baloney like Blizzard ended up doing as soon as they lost, I think it was Dota, to a different studio. They basically started banning anyone creating unlicensed content. Every map that you made in the Blizzard client was owned by Blizzard from there on out. It's a real shame because it really killed the creativity of the custom game community. It goes along with modding. I used to love building maps as a kid, and the fact they're putting a post-launch editor as part of it is really, really cool. It's going to increase the speed which modders will be able to iterate and polish their creations, as well as just creating new maps for friends. And I'm really excited to see this plan out. This is probably the thing I'm most excited about in Stormgate come the new year.
One of the powerful new innovations we've done is that the editor and the tools are not a separate client. They're built directly into the game itself. So with the press of a button, you can switch between gameplay and editing mode in order to make it fast and a tight loop to be able to create and test your own content. These tools will be usable to build mods, they'll be used to make maps, and tell your own stories and build your own campaigns. Then taking the technology and the tools that we've used to build all of these modes, and we're bundling them up to release to you so that you can really unleash your creativity and introduce the world to your own stories, your own characters, and your own mod.
And that's a brief overview, guys. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of Stormgate. Does it look promising? Are you worried about it? Are there concerns? What can they improve on right now? But hopefully next year will be a great year for RTS games. This is basically a predecessor to Warcraft and StarCraft. We have Tempest Rising coming out soon, which is a predecessor to Command & Conquer. It should be a really good year for games. So thank you all for watching this overview. Let me know what you think of it. And as always, leave a like and subscribe. I know it's stupid to ask, but my channel is very small and still growing, and any support I can get would be really great for making more content on the weekly for you guys. That being said, I appreciate you all for watching. Let me know what you want to see next. I'll talk to y'all later.
See you.